Navy Federal has 5 different types of checking accounts that they offer, and some are going to be better than others. If you're wondering what checking account you should have gotten or currently want to change into, then I got you. In this video, I pretty much will be going over the different types of checking accounts available and which is the best to get for your personal situation. If you're already subscribed, then welcome back. But if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Ismael Sandiford, and you are now watching Just Money, where we talk about financial related topics such as personal and business credit, real estate, and other financial related topics. So if that's something you're into, then you're probably going to want to consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's get to today's video. Okay, so when you decide you want to start banking with Navy Federal, or once you find out that you're eligible to start banking with Navy Federal, you're going to have to figure out what type of checking account do you want to get. Now, there's going to be 5 different types of checking accounts that you can choose from, but most of you will only qualify for about 4 of them. And that's because one of the checking accounts that Navy Federal offers is strictly only for people in the military. And since we're already talking about it, in fact, let's go over it really quickly. So this military checking account is going to be called the free active duty checking account. This checking account is specifically designed for active duty or retired military people. If you have this account and you're in the military, then you'll be eligible to have access to your direct deposit a day earlier than usual. But in order to have this account, you must have some kind of direct deposit going on. If you don't have some kind of direct deposit going on, then you will not be eligible to have this account, even if you are in the military. But going back to getting paid one day earlier, that's definitely a nice feature to have. Especially if you're in a case scenario to where you really need your money, I can see that being a really huge benefit. But other things that this free active duty checking account offers is ATM rebates. And the ATM rebates on this checking account is going to be way higher than any other checking account that Navy Federal offers. ATM rebates on this checking account go all the way up to $240 a year. So this means you'll be able to get up to $20 in ATM rebates per statement period. So in other words, that pretty much means per month. And another good thing about this military checking account is that there are no monthly service fees at all. So what this now means is you don't have to pay a fee just to have this account every month. And there's also going to be a no minimum balance requirement in order to have this account. So how neat is that? And by the way, almost all Navy Federal checking accounts will not require a minimum balance requirement, although I will say the Flagship checking account will. But we'll talk about that in just a bit. And another good thing about this military checking account is that it also offers free personalized checks. For those that don't know what personalized checks are, these are the checks that you would write out to somebody when you're trying to buy something. And these checks are going to have both your account and routing number on them. Some banks will charge you for this, but some won't. Some banks will let you get a certain amount of checks for free, but once you pass that certain amount, then you're going to be expected to pay after that. However, if you do have the military account with Navy Federal, then they will not charge you for these personalized checks, so that is fantastic. And last but not least, this military checking account will have an APY of 0.05%. And of course, this may change depending on the time that you're watching this video. APY stands for annual percentage yield, and it's pretty much the percentage return on your money. So if you have money in your account, banks and credit unions will usually pay a bit of money to you just to have money in those accounts. And you usually won't get paid anything crazy, but I mean, any money is better than no money, right? But that's pretty much it for the free active duty checking account. So if you are in the military, or if you were in the military, then I would definitely recommend for you to have this checking account. Now moving on to the next checking account that Navy Federal offers. This checking account, in my opinion, is probably going to be the 3rd best checking account that Navy Federal offers out of the 5, and it's going to be called the Free Easy Checking Account. This checking account is a checking account that most people tend to get if you bank with Navy Federal and you aren't in the military. And to be eligible, in order to obtain the Free Easy Checking Account, you have to have a direct deposit set up with Navy Federal. If you don't have a direct deposit set up with Navy Federal, then you will not be eligible to obtain this checking account. But once you do have that part figured out though, there's going to be no monthly fees on this account and no minimum balance requirement fees as well. So you don't have to have a minimum balance in this checking account to have it open, and you won't be charged any monthly service fees for this account as well. The Free Easy Checking Account also offers ATM rebates as well, and it's going to be all the way up to $120 a year. So this means you'll receive up to $10 in ATM rebates per statement period. In other words, per month. And the Free Easy Checking Account also offers the credit dividends monthly to you. So this means they will pay you a small portion just to have your money in your account. And the APY and dividend rate is going to be 0.05%, so pretty much the same thing as the free active duty checking account. And last but not least, the Free Easy Checking Account also offers checking protection options. And what this pretty much does is protect your checking account from overdrafts and or denied transactions. So I would definitely recommend the Free Easy Checking Account for those who are not in the military. And if you want a decent checking account with Navy Federal with no minimum balance requirements. Honestly, in my opinion, this might be the 2nd best checking account that Navy Federal offers. So if you have a direct deposit, then this is the checking account that I would get if you are not in the military. But the next checking account that we'll be talking about is the free campus checking account. This checking account is more so designed for students, I feel like, because the age range for this checking account is between the ages of 14 all the way up to 24. And this checking account is just as good as the other checking accounts that we talked about, because you do get ATM rebates on this checking account. The ATM rebates on the free campus checking account are pretty much the same thing as the Free Easy checking checking account. It will also be up to $120 a year and $10 per statement credit. Now, there are going to be no monthly service fees on this account as well, and also no minimum balance requirements, just like the other accounts we talked about so far. And the APY and dividend rate will be the same as the other checking accounts as well, which is 0.05%. This can definitely be a good checking account for those that are in school right now, and you don't even have to have a direct deposit set up. And you also don't need to be in the military as well in order to take advantage of all of these benefits that the free campus checking account offers. So if you are between the ages of 14 to 24, then I would definitely recommend to take advantage of this checking account. And also real quick, if you guys are finding any of this information helpful, if you guys could do me a favor, hit the like button, I would truly appreciate it because it truly helps me out a lot. Okay, now moving on to the fourth checking account that Navy Federal offers. This checking account is going to be called the free everyday checking account. And this is probably the most basic generic account that you can get with Navy Federal. This checking account does not offer any ATM rebates whatsoever. And the APY and dividend rate is going to be a 0.01%. So much significantly lower than the other accounts. This checking account does have no monthly service fees, which all Navy Federal checking accounts have, and also no minimum balance requirements as well, along with no opening deposit requirements too. So in other words, you don't have to deposit anything in this account in order to open it. So if you're not in the military, you're not a student between the ages of 14 to 24, or you don't have a direct deposit set up, then you're probably going to want to lean towards this account. Now, this checking account doesn't offer as many other things as the other checking accounts, but one thing I will say though is that you can switch your checking account at any time that you want. So if you currently have a checking account, then you can switch to another checking account, such as the free easy checking account. And you might want to switch to that one because that one is a little better than this one. Or you can even upgrade to the flagship checking account as well, which I'll be talking about right now. You can simply just call Navy Federal and just ask to switch your account and they will gladly do it for you. Or you could just do it on the app yourself. So no need to worry. Don't think if you have this checking account, then you'll have it forever, because that is not the case scenario. You can always switch whenever you like to. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the final checking account that Navy Federal Credit Union offers. This checking account is going to be called the flagship checking account. So right off the bat, this checking account is going to have a minimum balance requirement of $1,500 or more. Now, if you don't have $1,500 or more in this checking account, then you can still have this checking account, although you will be paying a $10 fee every month. So if you know you'll always have money in your checking account, then you might want to consider getting the flagship checking account. And the reason you might want to consider getting the flagship checking account is because this can ultimately lead you to getting the flagship credit card. The Navy Federal flagship credit card is Navy Federal's top tier credit card that they offer. If you guys want more information in regards to that, then I did do a few videos on the flagship credit card. If you guys are interested in watching that, I'll link some in the description below for you guys, or just feel free to browse my channel. But really briefly, plenty of people want the flagship credit card, but it's not an easy credit card to obtain. You have to have very good to excellent credit, and you have to have a very good relationship with Navy Federal. And by having this flagship checking account, that will definitely help you build a better relationship with Navy Federal when trying to receive the flagship credit card. And the reason I say this is because this account shows that you will always have a minimum of $1,500 in this account. And if you don't have that minimum, then you will pay that $10 fee every month. But at this point, this pretty much just shows that you're a committed customer with Navy Federal. And if you're a committed customer, then Navy Federal is committed to you. And now they can be more generous with you and offer you one of those flagship credit cards that they have. So if you're trying to get the flagship credit card, then I would definitely recommend to get the flagship checking account first. Now, there are other ways to get the flagship credit card without having a flagship checking account. All I'm saying is this will definitely speed things up for you for sure. So that way you can get it sooner rather than later. But this checking account also has ATM rebates as well, all the way up to $120 a year. And $10 per statement credit, so it's pretty much the same thing as the free easy checking account and the free campus checking account. And last but not least, the APY and dividend rate on this credit card is going to be 0.35% all the way up to 0.45%. Okay, now let's go over everything we just talked about really briefly. If you're in the military, I would definitely recommend to get the free active duty checking account because you would get the most value from having that checking account, obviously. If you're a working person and have a direct deposit set up, then I would definitely recommend getting the free easy checking account because this account just makes the most sense to go with if you're not in the military. Now, if you're a student ages 14 to 24, then I would recommend to get the free campus checking account because that's where you would get the most value from a checking account with Navy Federal if this is you. If you really don't have no money or don't have a direct deposit, then I would just go with the free everyday checking account. So if you feel like that resonates with you, then I would recommend to get this checking account, and don't worry because you always could change checking accounts later on down the road. So you don't have to worry about anything. And last but not least, if you're trying to obtain the Navy Federal flagship credit card, then I would recommend to get the flagship checking account. And again, I made a couple videos on the flagship credit card. So if you guys want to watch that, feel free to browse my channel, or I'll also leave some links in the description below for you guys to watch. And that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comments, what checking account do you currently have with Navy Federal, or what checking account are you trying to currently switch to with Navy Federal? Let me know in the comments below. I would like to know, and not only would I like to know, I think all of us as a community would like to know. So share your checking account experience with us. But if you guys made it to the end of the video, then I truly do appreciate you guys. We are at 17,659 subscribers at the time of this recording, so I do appreciate all who watch. And for those that don't know, I do post weekly videos, and if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that way you guys get notified every time I post a new video. And again, we talk about personal and business credit, real estate, and other financial related topics, so if that's something you're into, you're probably gonna want to consider subscribing. We talk about how to get high limits on your credit cards, how to boost personal credit, how to get business credit. We talk about real estate, we talk about mortgage loan products, all that. This is your one-stop shop. And for those that don't know, I am a licensed real estate agent, a realtor here in Southern California, and I'm also a licensed mortgage loan originator as well. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns in regards to real estate, all my information is in the description below. But if you guys made it to the end of the video, I do truly appreciate you guys again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.